Very good afternoon to all of you. Today, in this session, we're going to see something that is associated with organs of the immune system. Now, there are very different organs that are associated inside the immune system, which helps the immune system or which helps in counteracting with the antigen that is coming inside the immune body. So let us understand the organs of the immune system. If you see this particular diagram picture, you can see that there are specific organs that are associated. One of the organ is called as thymus, which is one of the important organ of the immune system. Then you have a bone marrow. You can see the bone marrow over here. This is the red lining which is present inside the bone. It's called as the bone marrow. Okay. So this is the basic structures of various different organs that are associated inside the human body. Now, there are two types of organs that are present inside the human body. One is called as the primary lymphoid organ. Second is called as the secondary lymphoid organ. So, what are the primary lymphoid organs? Primary lymphoid organs are thymus and bone marrow. You can see the thymus in this diagram. This is the primary lymphoid organ, and this is the bone marrow, which is the primary lymphoid organ. Now, what is the function of these primary lymphoid organs? Basically, the maturation of lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are those particular cells which are associated with the counteracting of antigens towards the human body. So, lymphocytes are said to be one of the important parts. So, thymus and bone marrow are said to be helpful for maturation of that lymphocyte. Now, secondary. What are the secondary lymphoid organs? The secondary lymphoid organs will be helpful for trapping the antigen and allowing interaction with the lymphocytes. So what are these secondary lymphoid organs? Secondary lymphoid organs includes lymph nodes, spleen, malt, and gallbladder. Again, we come to the same diagram. You can see the spleen over here, which is just situated on the left hand side of the heart. And you can easily see this particular organ. This organ will be helpful for capturing that lymphocyte and presenting it to the capturing the antigens and presenting it to the lymphocytes. Now, in this particular picture, you can easily observe that the lymphocytes are being present over here. Inside it, you have small thymocytes, nerve cells, colloidal cells, dead cells as well. Now, lack of functional thymus. Many fear circulating T cells, no cell-mediated immunity, increased susceptibility to viral and fungal infections, and aging cause decline in thymus function. So, what will happen if the thymus is not present? Then, if the thymus is not present, then there will be no T cells at all. So, maturation of T cells, which takes place inside the human body, will not be there, and therefore, a patient may suffer from a large variety of viral and fungal infections. Now, as we grow older, as our immunity is being set in a particular manner, the aging is said to be in a decline. So, aging of that particular functions will be declined. The thymus, functioning of the thymus will be declined as we age upon. Now, the secondary lymphoid tissues, the lymphoid follicles, basically what these lymphoid follicles are helpful for? These are helpful for primary resting B cells and APC, that is antigen presenting cells. And secondary, it will be proliferating of B cells. Now, resting B cells, what are resting B cells? Inside our blood cells itself, there are number of cells that are associated, and certain cells will get activated only and only then when there will be an antigen inside the human body. So these are called as resting B cells. And what are these APCs? APCs are antigen presenting cells. So these antigen presenting cells in a proper way will be helpful for presenting the antigen to a specific immune system. Right. Now, lymph nodes and spleen are the most organized organs wherein the interaction of the antigen will take place, and these will be helpful for showing or presenting that antigen to the lymphocytes. You can see here the lymphocytes are present inside the lymphoid organ, and if you see these cross sections and the vessels are here, means the antigens are here. See, the primary lymphoid follicles are being developed inside the particular capsules. Now, spleen. Lymph nodes trap circulating antigen exchange between lymphatic vessels and blood. Spleen filters antigen from the blood. So, blood is said to be one of the best medium to work in this particular fashion. But when the lymph nodes are inside the spleen itself, the lymph nodes will help to track that particular antigen. Now, where the antigen will be inside the bloodstream. So, what is the function of the spleen? The spleen will filter that particular antigen from the blood. Now, organization of the spleen, how the spleen will look. It consists of red pulp, that is old RBCs, and macrophages, which is of white pulp. There is a marginal zone of B cells, okay, and even T cells get activated inside the spleen. You can see here. So the red pulp, you can see the red pulp here, and the gray pulp is also there. The red pulp will represent RBCs, old RBCs, and macrophages will be available inside the gray pulp or white pulp itself. What is MALT? Tonsils, Peyer's patches, appendix. These are called as MALT, or these come under the category of MALT. So intraepithelial lymphocytes. T cells have unusual receptors and M cells deliver antigen to the immune system. So all these MALT or GALT which are present are helpful for presenting that antigen, filtering it from the bloodstream and presenting it to a particular immune system that is being associated with the lymphoid organs. See here, when the antigen is here, the cells will help to agglomerate it inside the Peyer's patches, and then it will be passed through a specific layer. You can see this layer that has been built up in here, germinal center, and muscles and all sort of things. So once this is been done, it will be present to the specific immunological systems. Now, skin. Skin is a primary barrier. It has some specialized cells also. Keratinocytes can produce cytokines, can express MHC class 2, Langerhans cells, APC. Means these are all cells that are associated with countering with the antigen. Once the counteracting of the antigen will take place, it will be helpful for recognition as well. Lymphocytes seems to have a limited repertoire, may have an alternative T cell receptor. So lymphocytes will be helpful, or lymphocytes will work on TCRs, that is called as T cell receptors. So what we have learned today, we have seen the primary lymphoid organs that are present inside the immunological system, and these primary lymphoid organs and the secondary lymphoid organs are helpful for interacting with that particular antigen. So what is the function of primary lymphoid organs? The function of primary lymphoid organs is to catch the particular antigen. So which are the primary lymphoid organs? The thymus and the bone marrow, these are called as primary lymphoid organs. Now, what is the function of secondary lymphoid organs like spleen or MALT, GALT, Peyer's patches? What is the function of them? The function is that to interact with that particular antigen, or to trap that antigen, process it, and to be shown to the immunological system. So that is the function of the secondary lymphoid organs. So this lecture was associated with the organs of the immune system, basically the primary and secondary lymphoid organs. In the coming lecture, we will discuss on some other topic that is associated with the immunological system.